All right, so we'll go ahead and get started if you guys are ready. I don't know, do you have Scott on here?
Yes,
yeah,
I'm on the
Scott
line.
just got on.
Hey, Scott. Okay. All right, so
Hello.
students in here, we might have some roll in. So if you hear a little bit of wrestling, that's probably what that is. But if you guys want to go ahead and begin and introduce yourselves and kind of what the goal is, Dave, what you were just talking about, I think the students would be very interested to hear kind of like what alumni are wanting to do down in Nashville for the students. So I'll let you guys go ahead and take it away.
Cool. I guess I'll go first. I'll introduce myself. My name is Kelley Bell. I graduated 2011. I majored in English literature and minored in creative writing. I'm now an education program manager at the Nashville Symphony in Nashville.
I'll go second. My name is Sterling Sanders. I'm a 2001 graduate and majored in history, minored in English, and am now a banker at Tennessee Bank and Trust, which is a Nashville-based Tennessee bank. And I also have Dave Mullendore here with me. He'll introduce himself in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Scott Meltzer. I'm a class of 2010. I'm the Director of Talent Solutions at the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce. The Nashville Area Chamber is the Nashville region's largest business association. And so I work with employers in our 10-county region. So that includes Davidson County, where Nashville is located, and our 10 surrounding counties, to better help employers access our local workforce. And one of the talent initiatives that's in my portfolio is the retention and attraction of young professionals who make up about 40% of the Nashville region's population. And so my kind of role today on the call is share a little bit more about where Nashville's at, where Nashville's going, direct you all to some resources where you can learn more about living, working, and playing in Nashville, and then just being a resource as you all look to move to Nashville after you graduate. Yes, shameless plug, hope all of you move to Nashville, and just be helpful as much as I can.
Okay, this is Dave Mullendore. I'm definitely the oldest person on this phone call. I graduated 40 years ago, and so I've been in Nashville ever since I graduated. I've been in finance. I've been a commercial lender most of the time. I work for a privately owned bank. I've been here for 13 years. And so, I don't know, I help small businesses, and I look at business models for small companies in Nashville. I went to high school here to a school called Montgomery Bell Academy, so I have a lot of connections through that. We used to have a fairly active center alumni group. We may still, but I haven't seen anything on it lately, so we're trying to kind of invigorate that. That's basically about it. I was in a fraternity, IFC president, captain of the soccer team, that kind of stuff. So just kind of old school. But I'm glad to be talking to you guys today about Nashville, since I've made it my home since I graduated from Center.
Well, Scott, I think this would be a good time for you to kind of go in and talk about the growth of Nashville and kind of like all of the robust types of opportunities that are in Nashville for students.
Sure. Yeah, happy. I'm going to kind of just do a high level overview today of Nashville, and then recommend or kind of refer everyone, and Brianna, I can send, a direct link if it's helpful afterwards, to learning more about the Nashville area and some of the key industries. But I'm just going to keep it very broad, and then of course can talk, one-on-one or small group afterwards. But so Nashville has rapidly evolved over the past really 7 years. Nashville is a top 10 metro in the United States for job growth in the past 7 years in a row. We have really become a hub for some major industries, as well as our industries are very diverse. So there are some main ones in the area that you'll read about in national publications, but really kind of our main economic drivers are healthcare management, advanced manufacturing, music and entertainment, and the tourism and hospitality industry. But we also cross into construction, construction, information technology, and others. It is the reason why Nashville during the 2008 recession was pretty shielded and was able to rebound pretty quickly because of we have some main industries, but we also have diverse industries across the region. And so right now, the Nashville area, we have seen since 2018 about 30,000 new residents. We have approximately about 83 people a day moving to the Nashville area. So it's definitely become a hub for people who were educated here and are coming back, known as boomerangs, or those that are from other major U.S. cities, or not major U.S. cities, that are making the Nashville area home. We have seen that the Nashville area is a great place from a quality of life and lifestyle, no matter if you're at the beginning of your career, middle of the career, or you're approaching retirement. In just this past year, we had 93 businesses relocate or expand their footprint into the Nashville area. So some of those include Smile Direct Club, Lyft, Amazon, Ernst & Young, and Pilot, which has created more than 14,000 new jobs into the area. We have many different post-secondary opportunities. So as center alumni look to continue their education, many options in the area, private and public colleges and universities, as well as just really rich professional development opportunities as well. We have many options for both indoor and outdoor, so kind of talking more to the play area of life outside of work. We have a really rich museum and museums here, an incredible park system. Our food and drink scene is one of the top in the country. Could probably talk about that section all day long because I'm definitely someone who enjoys really the lifestyle of Nashville from the food scene in particular. We have more than 80 miles of greenways in the area, very pet-friendly community, which is something that we've learned from Nashvillians that's important, and a very livable city as well as compared to some of our large, metropolitans in the area. But yeah, that's kind of like high-level overview of Nashville. If you're interested in learning more about the industries that I've mentioned, more of the livability, if you go to the Nashville Area Chamber's website and go to the economic development section, we have some really great materials there that are for individuals as well as businesses that are looking to expand or relocate. But I think it would be very helpful to give even a bigger picture of, what's it like in the Nashville area. Yeah, that's kind of just very high level and can answer any questions.
Okay. We have one question.
Hi, I'm Katie Wayne. I'm a first year at Center College. In Nashville, are there a lot of public transportation methods? Is it easy to get around the city?
That's a good question.
Did you say public transportation?
Yeah.
Yes. So that public transportation is definitely it's an infrastructure challenge as Nashville has grown. We are still a car-centric city, and just full transparency. But it is I will tell you, a very active conversation within the business community here because we've seen from our counterpart cities like Austin, Texas, what happens when you don't have a really strong public transportation system. So that is an aspect of our quality of life that is being worked on and of importance to Nashvillians in business.
Yeah, just from a personal perspective, a few years ago, I had car problems, so I used the bus for, like, consistently every day for a month, and it was pretty difficult. And I was lucky enough to have like a convenient bus stop, but in terms of timing and getting places after work and things like that, it was, to be honest, not easy.
Nobody else has any questions really right now, but maybe if, I don't know if you guys wanted to touch on maybe finding careers and internships within Nashville and kind of what that looks like, or what opportunities are there.
Yeah, well, I think I'd like to know kind of the makeup of the students, you guys here, like what your interests are, what you thinking about majoring in, if you've decided, things like that. I was wondering if I could, find out a little bit more about you guys so we can kind of cater our talk to that.
Well, we can start right here and kind of go down, and you guys can talk about what you're studying here at Center, or kind of if you're a lower class, you can talk about what you want to study. So you can start.
All right, well, I'm Tanner Lopez. I'm a senior here, and I'm an econ and finance major and politics minor, so I'm looking to potentially work in Nashville.
Cool.
I'm Katie Lynn. I'm a first year here at Center. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm interested in international studies.
My name is Juliana, and I'm a junior econ and finance major.
I'm Abby Haggerty, and I'm a bio major, which doesn't really fit, but I like Nashville, so.
I'm Clarity. I'm also a bio major.
I'm Spencer Granacamp. I'm a senior economics and finance major.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm looking to be a BNS major.
I'm Elizabeth Robbins. I'm a math major and a senior here at Center.
Jackson Albert. I'm a politics major.
Jake Bennett. I'm a junior and econ finance major.
Anika Vua. I'm a first year, but I'm studying physics and thinking of doing like the 3-2 engineering program and maybe like biomedical engineering.
I'm Josh West. I'm a sophomore computer science major.
I'm Ellen Hicks. I'm an econ finance major. I'm Madison Morrow, and I'm a double major in psychology and econ finance.
John Morrison, senior econ finance major.
I'm Chloe Gaines. I'm an international studies major, and I'm looking to pursue like journalism or communications in Nashville.
I'm Meredith Dunn. I'm a first year and Lenning's major in politics.
Cool. Thank you all so much. That's helpful. Okay, so where do we start?
I can provide a couple of resources that would help. I think it could touch on all the industries shared. So one area, for those that are pursuing internships, which I encourage you to do an internship every summer that you can. It will absolutely teach you the technical skills and the human skills to be successful post-center, but also help you find that right fit in terms of the company or the firm that you want to be a part of. It's also like the best way to interview for a full-time job. I would utilize, so the Chamber's membership is public. Like you could go to the Chamber's website for, let's say, someone who shared that they were interested in, they're a computer science major, and you can go to the information technology section and look at the businesses that are in IT, from large ones like Assurian to a mid-sized firm. You can do this for any industry, and I would encourage you to reach out to the company and ask to speak to someone in human resources and just have a conversation about internship opportunities at that firm or that company. The other is to look at the Chamber's jobs board, which is probably one of the most widely used components of our businesses. They post on there internships as well as jobs from entry level and up. But those are two kind of broad areas to encompass like all the industries that have been shared. And if you are, and also I'll add a third one. If you look at the economic development guide for the chamber, you'll see employers that are categorized by some of our high growth industries. I would say probably all of them on there have some kind of formal internship program. And that's also just reaching out to the company, ask to speak to someone in HR about their internship program. And all of the companies that you'll see on that list are very multifaceted. So though the company may be in healthcare, so HCA Healthcare is headquartered here, if you are pursuing journalism, you could look at the communications team, you know, as an internship opportunity, or if you're pursuing computer science, you could look at an internship in their IT department as an example. So the category that they're in, don't let that be necessarily the way that you kind of focus on, is this a company that that is in the category I'm looking for, is what, I guess what I'm trying to say.
I wanted to add something, Scott, guys. Nashville is a very entrepreneurial city, very entrepreneurial. And one of the ways we find out about all the entrepreneurial aspects is this chamber does a fastest growing top 50. We do all sorts of events, right, Scott?
Yes, the chamber has more than 100 events every year, and I was going to share how center students could come to those, so go for it.
No, but what I was saying was that's another avenue that you could go through. I've had, when I've placed people in internships here in Nashville, I've had some success with that because they're young, they're growing, you could learn a lot, and they're welcoming in terms of somebody coming on with a skill set that they may not have. So what I'm saying is there's the bigger companies, but there's also these other companies, right, Scott, that could be good avenues as well, correct?
Yes, and the chamber membership is the perfect way to find those, anything from a startup all the way to a large corporation. That's like that'd be the most broad reach, I would say. I wish we had a way to kind of sort by, mid-size or small, but I've just talking with other young professionals, kind of going through the membership and just doing some individual research on the businesses listed has been kind of the best way I've learned from folks finding, what's the best fit for an internship, regardless of size of the business.
And my son did an internship his first year he has to do one every summer. He goes to a business school in Boston. And so he did one with a nonprofit. And that was, although he didn't get paid or got paid very little, I can't remember, he really learned a lot, and he was able to become sort of a driving force within the little nonprofit that he worked with. So that's an idea, not just companies, but even nonprofit entities that are out there are opportunities for you. So
yeah, they're in Nashville. Well, there's a Center for Nonprofit Management. They do also have a job board. That's how I found my job. And I believe, yeah, you can get connected with a lot of the nonprofits through cnm.org.
That's a great, CNM is a great resource for nonprofit professionals currently, as well as new ones entering the industry. They're a member of ours, and I know we're at like more than 100, I'd say about 125 nonprofits as well who are members of ours. So you'll definitely see them throughout our member directory. They're an entire category in itself.
Definitely.
This is Sterling. As far as the finance and econ majors, there are a growing number of financial companies, banks, insurance entities, and the like that are in Nashville. I know of at least 20 3 banks in our area, which is Green Hills, which is just south of town a little bit. And so there are a large number of banks that are doing business here, and then other entities. There's a large one, Scott, you may bring this up too, Alliance Bernstein, which is a massive New York firm that decided to move to Nashville.
Yes, Alliance Bernstein, I'm actually looking at their current temporary office, and then around the corner is their new permanent office right now. But Alliance Bernstein, they relocated their entire corporate headquarters here about a year ago. And they have, I know they have an internship program as well as I think it's a 2-year associate program as well. And they are, many of their team members from New York City moved to Nashville. But they also are a growing firm, so know that they have a number of opportunities from entry level and up, and then their internships that are promoted on their website. For the finance industry, I fully back up what Sterling has said. We have a lot of options in finances here, from just banks, financial institutions, investment firms, venture capital firms are here as well. So the many opportunities for those of you in economics to anchor your career here.
We'll say too, one thing that's great about Nashville is the international communities here. Nashville, it has one of the largest Kurdish populations in the United States, and there are a lot, there's just a lot of diversity within Nashville. And I will say the Metro City Council is getting a little, it's improving in terms of representation in that aspect. So the Metro Council, especially now just in terms of politics and elections, has been pretty active and interesting in Nashville, I would say.
Does anybody have any questions for them that you'd like to ask?
Awesome question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tanner Lopez again, senior econ finance major. And my question is, how recognizable is a center degree in Nashville? Because I know, if I went to a state school, I feel like I would at least have a better GPA and people are coming out with 4.0s. So does that put me behind going to center and applying for jobs in Nashville when they see maybe just a lower GPA in comparison?
I don't know. Like I've had like a center mug around and a couple people like, hey, I know that school. So it happens more than I thought it would, given the size of center when I went.
I think here a lot of people know about Swanee and they know about Rhodes, so they also know about center. So they sort of put you in that same category, guys. So in other words, it's sort of like, oh, you're like Swanee, but you're just up in Kentucky kind of thing. So they sort of put you in a better upper echelon, I guess, if I could say anything, that type of thing. So.
I would agree. The center alumni group, I've met quite a few alumni since moving back here. I was raised here by my dad, but have been in San Antonio, Texas for the past 10 years and moved back here a year and a half ago. And have had a number of encounters of center alumni, younger than me, older. A number of folks from my class are here now. But it's pretty recognizable. And I mean, I work primarily with HR and talent executives from our employers. And yes, there is like some certain education requirements for positions, may it be associate degree, technical certificates, or, a 4-year bachelor's degree. But in interviewing, you're going to find that the questions asked are, and what they're really trying to understand is, how is it a mission, team, and strengths fit, and really understanding your human skills as well as the knowledge that you've gained. So I know you all will be well positioned here in Nashville, but know that in interviewing, it's going to be a lot more around of your human skills, conflict management, working on a team, interpersonal relationship skills, those kind of aspects. But you'll meet quite a few center alumni when you move here.
Yeah, I'll just jump off of that. I mean, I've interviewed and helped hire quite a bit of people, and just thinking about grades in school, yeah, I agree with Scott where like, there's probably a baseline where I'm like, okay, well that's fine, but I'm really looking at those interpersonal skills and those soft skills and things like that. So I agree with Scott in that sense, for sure.
Yeah, we're looking there. When I've sent interview people, we're looking for personalities, the ability to work with others, hard work, that type of thing. We're not. I mean, obviously, if your GPA is almost off the, down too low, obviously that might be a red flag. But we're looking for somebody that's going to be. We're in a small organization, so everybody here has to be multifaceted, ready to do whatever. So that's kind of what we at this bank are looking for, willing to learn.
Also, that's one thing, thinking about my time at center and if I would do things differently. I mean, thinking of being a little bit more generous for yourself if you are really focused on getting the best GPA possible. Just give yourself a little grace and some flexibility. I mean, like we've been saying, there's like a really pretty wide range of like you have decent grades, but I really want to know like what you learned and who you are. So like take those classes that are a little bit off the track of what you think, but it could be helpful in a new perspective, things like that. Definitely go for those and just give yourself some grace in terms of like, definitely try to keep your grades up, but if it's a difference between a 3.7 and a 4.0, I wouldn't worry about it.
You just gave them permission, Kelley.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're all.
Look at you, Dick Kelley.
I would just take a little bit of time each week and just, if you can, go online and research the chamber and look at maybe articles or anything like that in general, just to get a sense of the landscape. The town on the outside looks pretty small, but when you're looking into the city, there's so much going on here that really it would help you to take at least an hour a week or whatever and really try and see if you can learn the landscape a little bit or navigate the landscape, just to kind of give you a sense. If that makes any, if that seems logical to you, Scott, you may want to add or take away from that, but I think that's what I would do.
No, absolutely. The chamber, we have a pretty active like communication channels because we're representing more than 2,100 businesses in the area. So we're highlighting wins of theirs, expansion. So definitely checking out our website, our blog, Nashville Public Radio, the Tennessee, the Nashville Business are all very active here. Current events, business, education related, and so forth. So yeah, those definitely just kind of knowing more about the community that you're interested in moving to. And this is also a very exciting and energizing time to live in Nashville. Just from my perspective, very, very few people in their lifetime get to help build the city. And you can do that here in Nashville. Nashville does not, we are not in LA. We are not a Chicago. We are Nashville. And we're at that point in development where people of different places in their career can really thrive and be at the table. So I think, as you're looking at your next steps, either immediate if you're about to graduate or a few years down, if you're looking to be, really active, like part of a thriving community and region, I would, I'm shameless plug, but hey, I left and came back here. So definitely move here and get involved, not just professionally, but also personally. Right. There are many opportunities. One that really comes to mind is called YP Nashville. And this is really one of the main components of the Nashville area, where it's comprised of more than 50 young professional organizations. So ranging from the Nashville Junior Chamber of Commerce to the Young Professionals Group for the American Cancer Society, or Big Brothers Big Sisters. So there's also just ways for you to get involved, build a network, and be around other young professionals as well. So that makes Nashville really unique.
I will say I would also suggest a lot of reporters in Nashville are just great at updating things on Twitter. I love to follow them on Twitter and social media. That's a really good way to kind of get a sense of what's going on in the city, in just kind of all aspects of Nashville. And also, I mean, it's not that much of a drive. I definitely take a weekend, carpool with some friends, and visit Nashville. I definitely did that when I was there, for sure. I would say try to avoid really major event weekends, and you can kind of look that up. There are quite a bit of bachelor and bachelorette parties in downtown Nashville. I'm just going to warn you about that. But definitely take a weekend, visit Nashville if you haven't been already. Start connecting and following people with a lot of information about Nashville on social media accounts, things like that.
Okay, we have one more question here.
Yeah.
What should potential interns look in an internship to qualify it fit for them? How do they know that this internship is fit for this person?
Could you repeat that a little bit, a little louder?
How does a potential intern know that an internship is fit for them?
I mean, I will say first, I definitely still apply for and go for jobs that you're not sure you're qualified for. Just do that anyway. If you just apply for jobs that you already know everything about, it's not a whole lot of growth. So just definitely fake it till you make it. Apply for jobs where you're not quite sure. And when you interview and things, that's just an opportunity to ask more questions. And so that would be my first response, is definitely just cast a wide net, and you can learn a lot more in the process of whether or not that's a good fit. Yeah, does anybody else have anything to add?
I just think you'll grow in the internships. That based on my son's internships, he went into one where he thought he'd just be working in the finance department of a campaign, and he wound up restructuring their cold call program, redoing their Excel spreadsheets. He went to separate cities to help set up events. I mean, he really learned a lot in that one summer. And then he went to London last summer and worked for a company headquartered here, and he learned a ton of information and everything. He was in a confirmation capital London office, and he was the only intern, so he picked up a lot of knowledge about the financial world, based on from that experience. So I would go somewhere where you feel like what Kelley said, where you feel like you'll learn a lot, and they'll give you a lot of responsibility as you do things.
Yeah, that's kind of what an internship should be about, is that you are not sure if this is the right industry or the right field or the right fit for you. It's definitely, learn a lot, and that's kind of what you're figuring out before you kind of go full-time into a career, is just casting that wide net and diving in, seeing what kind of world that is.
Yeah, we got another question.
Sure.
I'm Josh West. I'm a sophomore computer science major. I'm just wondering, is it better to have an internship with sort of a recognizable big name, or more of a small internship where I might get more personal feedback about how I'm doing it?
I'm not sure. I mean, I work in the nonprofit world, so I feel like we could be pretty scrappy. So I don't know if anybody in like a bigger company has a better sense of like what they're looking for.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily name recognition or size is of importance. Your future like full-time employer is going to care more about what was the portfolio of projects that you worked on or initiatives you were part of, really skills acquisition from that internship experience. So I know that you can get that individualized and just like kind of personal experience and mentorship from a small, mid-sized, or large company, because you can ask the questions during the internship interview, like what are the ways that I'll be interacting with the department I'm assigned to, or across different departments in the company. Like you can ask those questions to know like what will the like look and feel be from a day-to-day basis or from like a start to finish basis of the internship. So I would be more focused on find the one that like works for what you're trying to understand and learn and gain, and not be concerned if you're with, a company of a certain size or certain name recognition.
I feel like a lot of industries and, careers now, I mean, you just have to be flexible with like your skill set and your careers. Like they're still there, but there aren't as many of the lifetime, like I'm at this company forever and like working up this very long ladder. Like those still exist for sure, but there is definitely a better sense of like your flexibility, a varied skill set, and how you made what your experience has been work for you in a different situation. I will say, like, when I look at cover letters and help people edit cover letters and resumes, I think sometimes the tendency is to kind of apologize for your experience not applying identically to what you're applying for. And I always tell people, like, don't apologize for your experience. Whatever you did, wherever like way off field that was, you got something from it that you can apply to this one. So when you are applying and interviewing for jobs that that are hopefully different from what you've done before in internships and things like that, you're thinking about how you can take those skills that you've learned there and how they are part of the path towards this next thing.
Just to add, I would kind of look around and say, is this a place, as you interview there, is this a place I'd like to spend the summer and work? Do these people seem interested in me? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would sort of feel that out in the way that you can, get a vibe type thing. That's all I want to add there.
Well, I think everybody is kind of okay now. I don't think anybody else has any questions. Is it okay with you all if I send them y'all's contact information? Or I think Kelley on the Career Mentor Network, is that right?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. I can't hear you.
That's okay. You're on the Career Mentor Network, correct? And
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'll check. But yeah, definitely feel free to share my contact info.
All right, and I'll also send out an email to you guys too about like the different websites that they talked about that you can go on, and definitely always look on Handshake. We are approving jobs every single day, especially in major cities. So definitely look on there as well. But thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.